KOCN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Oh, baby. It's a short Grum. We got a lot to talk about. Mike Schaefer is here.
Hello.
Let's start it right now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome in, everybody. Alongside, as Shane asks, who's co-hosting today? Mike Schaefer.
Me.
Hi, Shafe.
I'm Josh Peterson, Nick Grimm on the ones and twos and the threes and the fours and the G's and the A's and the B's and the C's.
It's E, F, and G.
My bad.
And I also know how to turn up levels.
What up, Shafe?
I'm curious if you were to just map out all the shows throughout the month of November,
Oh, boy.
and then however many each co-host has done,
Mm.
like how close I know I'd still be last, but I think by the end of the month, I'll have done 7 shows in November across
All the
you and the morning show, essentially.
Whoa.
Happer never has me fill in, which, frankly, I don't want to.
Yeah, you should do a solo Happer
I don't
show
want to.
sometime. You
No.
can hang out with Odson.
Nope.
No,
I would
Okay.
ask for twice the pay.
Yeah, not a
Because you're
bad
both
idea.
co-hosts in that
That's
scenario.
true.
So,
That's true.
which would probably preclude me from being able to do it. But
Probably.
I feel like I've been in this chair a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here. Always love chatting.
Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow.
You'll be back tomorrow and maybe back Wednesday now.
What?
What? Are you? I thought you said you could do.
No, I know, but you had told me
Oh, wait,
Wednesday.
no. If Creighton is, then they're staying till Thanksgiving. Thus, they would not play Wednesday. Thus, John would
But
do the
you
show.
mentioned they had to go 2-0 for me to be here Wednesday.
I actually.
So you can't read.
No. I was right on that. Yes.
Okay.
Because then
So
John,
then I won't be here.
you will
Wednesday.
not be here on Wednesday.
All right.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
pretty
that's
sure.
fine.
Yeah.
I was just like
Have you already made your
mentally.
Wednesday plans?
I was mentally assuming my Wednesday was wide
We
open.
could do Iowa stuff on Wednesday. You're
Yeah, no,
already out.
it's fine. If
Okay,
John doesn't want to do
okay.
it on Wednesday,
Yeah.
just give me some notice.
I think it'll be John and me.
Okay.
Think. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. This tournament is confusing, perplexing. There's not a usual graphic of a bracket. There's nothing. It's just
It just exists for NIL. It doesn't exist for
It
any other
all
reason.
feels very convoluted.
it is
It's
very
not
much
like a
convoluted.
real tournament played in Vegas like the Crown.
like the crowd.
It's not like it has any kind of real stakes or anything anyone actually cares about or could potentially set up the hottest team in the country the following year.
like the crown.
The
Wow,
Crown.
you're just coming in. People always get so mad when I have you in during basketball season. They get so mad, like, why are you bringing him in? Are you bringing him in to troll? And I say, no, it's because he's my friend. But
I
then
don't
you
know why it would be trolling if I just pointed out one of the teams in the state has a win against a Big 12 team this year and the other one does not. That's not trolling. That's just fact.
Kenneth writes, Saudi blood money basketball tournament presented by Northrop Grumman. Is that this one or is that the one Nebraska played in? Which one is the Saudi? I think this is the Saudi blood
I would
money
guess
tournament.
so.
I think the Crown or this one?
This one.
I think it's this one.
The Crown is TV providers that
Yeah,
threw the money out there for
that's
that one.
true. Wow.
Now, where they got the money, I can't speak to. But
yeah.
allegedly, they were the ones that were like, hey, we're Fox. We'll give you some money to come play some basketball for us so we can fill this TV time so we don't have to pay actual people to do it.
Otson writes, Schaefer might have hosted as many shows as Gary, TBH.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's what
You're approaching Gary
that's
level?
what I was wondering.
Gary?
Yeah, because I know he was out today. Was listening to Matt. He did a nice job going. I mean, I know Jimmy was there as well, but without a second co-host. So,
Yeah.
nice job by him.
He does 4 hours. Meanwhile, I got 2 and change. And I'm like, hey, Schaefer, you want to come on in? That's how I roll, baby. That's how I roll. Welcome into
To
Unsportsmanlike
be fair,
Conduct.
you asked earlier. That's basically how the decision would be made.
Yes, you know what? I am a planner. I reached out to you probably months ago, and I said, hey, John's going to be
Months
gone. Honestly, we're talking
I knew
probably
about it. I knew about it when I was employed.
So
that was coming up on months ago.
I mean, that was October.
Not months, but month ago.
Okay, now you're making me sad.
Well, you don't have to be sad.
All right, I still get your
made the
takes.
joke.
I still get your takes. I see your takes still. I know how you're feeling about Husker football.
I only offered one take during the game because, frankly, there wasn't much to say.
Yeah, well, we got 2 hours and 10 minutes to fill. So,
and then today I was just like, hey, they played the worst teams on their schedule on the road, and they looked a lot worse on the road. I wonder if there's something to that.
Very
interesting. But then someone tweeted at me and told me to ask that question in the press conference.
And did you break the news to them?
And be like, there's one problem with that. I was like, nah, I don't need to do that. I'll just mention it on the air.
Well,
way more mature.
Way more mature. Welcome in. This is the Grum Down, brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. Mike Schaefer is here. Clear out. We're going to go ISO ball for some JJ McCarthy.
Oh, no.
Rants.
So
Nick, give him the rock.
That's just going to take up the whole show then. Why'd you even bother filling out the rest of the Grum?
Not a bad idea. It's going to be like Michael Jordan against the Jazz in 98. JJ McCarthy
Do I get
is
a push off and have it uncalled?
He's Byron Russell, and you're Michael Jordan.
He's not Byron Russell because Byron Russell would be on the court.
JJ, I guess he's injured. How bad was Saturday night? We'll unpack what happened between Nebraska and Penn State. You know what's weird? These short weeks where it's almost we're on to Iowa, but we do look back. I never know what to do. Do people want to talk about Penn State? Do we want to sit in the muck of the Penn State game?
I'm guessing they want to go through every excruciating play on Saturday night.
We can deliver that for them. Let's see. Oh, people forget that the Cowboys came back from down 21-0 yesterday, Shafe.
Things that almost are going to be relevant in the NFL season.
That was awesome. So that could be a topic. Michael Severe Monday will join us. I still don't have Twitter. I don't have access to our DMs on Unsportsmanlike because I don't think we ever set up the PIN code for whatever they're called now, chats. So I emailed him the link.
Yeah, why would they change DM, which was
why would Elon Musk do anything?
I think I set up the PIN code. I thought I told you what it was.
All right. Well, I'll ask you of it during the break, and I can DM it to Michael. I did create a burner just because I missed TweetDeck. So now I have a TweetDeck burner, which is maybe why I got banned from Twitter in the first place. But there it is. Look, I'm seeing tweets.
Burner
when
boy.
will you learn?
Well, this is how I realized, Nick, last week, I am unable to follow the news as well without TweetDeck. Also, I realized I was doing Twitter wrong. I felt like 100 years old yesterday when I realized I was doing one thing on the Unsportsmanlike Conduct feed. I'm like, why isn't anything refreshing? And I realized, I'll explain it to you during the break.
It happened to me. I figured it out as well.
Yeah, I felt like a big how there's the drop down now.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
I was like,
I was getting pissed.
Did Twitter break? And then I realized, hey, there's a new button that I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. All right. I'm happy that it wasn't just me. So yeah, Michael Severe will join us, assuming he got the link. Let's see. National Fun League. Probably more bad stuff on JJ McCarthy in there. Will we get to other topics? Nick, look at that. I put a bullet point on the topics.
No.
Yeah, I did. I have like 10 things on my sheet. I only told Shafe about 3 of them.
You did 10?
I kept coming up with ideas, but I know he'll be back tomorrow. And so I'll just move them to the sheet for tomorrow.
We'll be lucky to get through 2 of those tomorrow.
I know.
I had a topic idea for this week. We don't even know if we'll get to that.
Which one was that?
I'll tell you off.
All right, perfect. I remember that topic. Yeah. A very good topic. Yeah, we'll see. We just don't have enough time. Lane Kiffin,
exactly.
What is happening
it's like
with
Matt Damon in the green room? It's always just going to get left there.
Wow, look at that reference. It's like 2006 all over again. Lane Kiffin, what's going on with this man? Nice, Nick. Good drop twice. What's going on with this man?
I have no idea.
This is like The Decision Part 2.
Kind of, except maybe less interesting on every front, but more interesting in some ways.
All right, now we definitely got to get to that topic because I want to see what's going on there. The Cowboys beat the Eagles yesterday, just as a for your information.
Does your wife think you're insufferable yet? Have you been acting weird around your wife?
Not at all.
This whole time?
Not at all.
I was curious what the watching situation was yesterday.
That's a Grum Down brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. I went over to my parents.
Yeah, I figured you had to separate.
Watched with my
Couldn't
dad.
Be.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be in the same space.
Yeah, we watched the end of the game in week 1. That was the first time that we had watched a Cowboys-Eagles game in the same room since either 2019 or 2020. So
there was one famous time in which you watched it in the same room, in which you were just trolling her endlessly as the day continued. I think Nebraska played volleyball later that night.
It was the next week. It was the following week. Nebraska played in the famed Stanford gun game.
Yeah, and then you were making her rewatch the game from
Amari
the week
Cooper
earlier.
Scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Not my finest hour, and I have apologized for that numerous times. I did not say anything last night. I let her vent about Nick Sirianni, and I enjoyed it. That said, I mean, my radio show is my own little safe space. So if I want to talk about how happy it made me, then I'll probably do that on the radio. So no, Nick, I wasn't insufferable. At least I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
But you never know. You never know with me. You never know. I was texting you how I hated my life, and then everything changed.
Yeah. And I called you a wiener.
Yeah.
So.
You did call me a wiener. 402-951-1620. You can call us, text us, call us wieners on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, like this one from Venmo Chris.
See, that'd be a great segment, the wiener of the week.
Wow, who would be the wiener of the
Get
week?
the Wahoo Locker to sponsor it.
Nick,
it'd be great.
the
Get a
idea
meat locker
man.
to sponsor it. It'd be fantastic.
All right, who's the wiener of the week?
I mean, for me, it's JJ McCarthy. But
Hey, speaking of, Venmo Chris. Hi, Schaefer. F the Vikings. Go Pack Go. You're still cool, but facts are facts. Your thoughts?
look, they got a win against Minnesota. It's the first time in a little bit for them, and so they need to celebrate that. They're riding high and have an opportunity to have another Green Bay-esque season with a loss in January, and we'll all applaud them for it.
So there you go. See, that's what I was texting you about yesterday. They'll fail eventually. No big deal. No big deal
It's
at
not
all.
a good place when you look at Jordan Love and you're like, man, if the Vikings had Jordan Love, they'd have at least 6 wins right now.
Whoa. That is depressing.
It is
and then your
depressing.
guy, Kirk Cousins, drops back.
Oh, my God.
throws
That
a-
pass was beautiful.
This is so fun.
I was texting you last night about how I was like, man, this would be great. This would be incredible if Kirk Cousins comes back. It's a Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy. I'm just like the one guy who's like, more Kirk.
Yeah,
They
you
need
are.
more Kirk. He can't move. They
How
don't
many-
have an offensive line, but more Kirk.
How many Vikings fans out there are wanting Kirk Cousins
It's got to
back?
be like me and 3 others.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if I will make it to, maybe I should say this on the air because I haven't texted my grandpa yet. I don't know if I'll make it to Thanksgiving in Fremont just because of the way that Thanksgiving is working this year. And I would love to know what my uncle thinks about them. Now, my brother Luke won't be home until Christmas. I haven't talked to him about the
He's
Vikings
right in
at
the
all.
epicenter of Kirk Cousins right now.
He very much is. Yeah, he very
I wonder
much
if
is.
Kirk was swag surfing after that throw.
He did last year. What is
No, but I didn't know if he was doing it after the touchdown yesterday. That thing was beautiful.
That was
though.
nice. I was at my parents' house, as I mentioned, and didn't have the third TV. I don't think he had like set up the whatever he has, the Roku. And so we just had 2 TVs on because I wasn't trying to mess around with anything during the game. And so we only had one other game on, and most of the day it was Cardinals Jaguars because it was slim pickings, admittedly, in the late afternoon. So I have seen 0 of
They
Shador.
were all kind of interesting in their own car crash sort of way.
Sure.
Like, I totally understand why no one needed to watch a second of Raiders Browns or Falcons Saints.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice reprieve for me as I was hosting a family Thanksgiving and then finally sunk down to the basement where I had those 4 games going on, sitting next to my brother-in-law, and we enjoyed about 2 minutes of silence before the kids came down. No, my brother-in-law, Joe.
Different brother-in-law.
He's a listener of the show.
Shout out
When
to you,
the signal
Joe.
makes it all the way to Elkhorn, he's a listener.
Once a year. It's
Or
good.
you can listen to us on the internet.
You can indeed listen to us.
1620thezone.com.
Or zonetv.live, 1620 The Zone TV, YouTube.
There's no
Internet
excuse.
radio. Who knew it could be a thing?
I did that thing where I have YouTube Premium now, so I can click play and then I can turn off the screen and put it in my pocket.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of nice.
we made the
actually.
jump. It's pretty sweet. Yeah,
That's
it's-
pretty nice.
Yeah. So
Might have to
anyway,
look
I
into
miss those games. So I have 0 takes on Shador. So if people are coming to the Grum today for Shador takes, I got nothing. I know he had a few
Not
nice
really takes to have.
few nice passes. See, I think though, Nick, we're always thinking about the algorithm on YouTube. I
Mhm.
think we a big splashy Shador graphic for tomorrow's show might get the numbers up a little bit.
Could be.
Shador good ?
And then I'm going to get yelled at. Oh, we're not even going to talk about Shador. Why would you put him on the thumbnail?
But I'm giving you permission right now.
Mm.
I'm trying to help us out, Nick. I'm trying to help out our great YouTube channel. Go like and subscribe there. You can also find us on the Equitable Bank inbox, Josh at 1620thezone.com. That is one place to find us. Also, the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Again, I can see your tweets. I just will never be able to respond to them again, which is very sad.
It's tough.
At USC 1620. He's at Mike J. Schaefer or at Griminim.
Yup.
If you want to hit us up there. Shafe, I did promise you a JJ McCarthy stat. Let's get that out of the way, and then we can get
Man,
right
this whole
into the
show really is going to be him. Isn't it?
No, we're going to talk Nebraska Penn State because that's what the audience is coming here for. I saw this on Blue Sky, where I'm not banned.
I don't even know it's a real stat.
It's see, and I was going to make another joke about how it's EPA per dropback, which probably makes you immediately pissed. But Danny Heifetz of The Ringer.
I know who Danny Hyde.
All right. Danny Heifetz had this yesterday at 5:00. J.J. McCarthy now ranks 851 out of 852 in EPA per dropback among qualified passers since 2000 per True Media. Guess which player is behind him? This is a famous football player. You will absolutely know this name. There's one player, one quarterback since 2000. This guy was terrible. And the draft pick of him was one that people were like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Blank.
I am just drawing a blank.
Jamarcus Russell.
Okay. All
Jamarcus Russell is the only player below him.
That's incredible.
EPA per dropback. So I just want to say this to you, Shafe. You were right. I want you to go out and wave the Mike Schaefer was right banner around Omaha about J.J. McCarthy. I think it's done. I don't think you have to. There's not a contest anymore. We have finished the discussion.
Here's what I told some friends, though. I absolutely won the J.J. McCarthy debate. That really was never a debate in my mind. It should have been obvious to anyone who could recognize the fact that playing for a Michigan offense that never asked him to do anything to win games, it was going to be a struggle to go to a league where you have to be a competent passer to just be serviceable. And so that was, the big concern. And then the other concerns were sort of, he was a long-term project that you knew right away. He hadn't played that much in college. I mean, he was there for 2 years as a starter, 1 year as a backup, right?
Yes.
Effectively had 2 seasons.
Yeah.
In that time, he threw an unbelievably low amount of passes despite playing in the college football playoff, which gave him more games than people who only played in 12 or 13 games.
Yeah. Played in 15 games this last year and 14 games the year before.
And so all of that to say, you're taking a guy who hasn't thrown the football that much at a high level, surrounded him with an offense in which they never asked him to really do more than just drive a car with training wheels. And you're putting him somewhere where they are one of the lowest running of the football teams in the NFL. It's just a disaster.
Yeah.
It's a total
And then he
disaster.
misses, and you were joking about it off the air with Joey. He misses his whole season. He got banged up earlier this year, and now he's banged up again.
Yeah,
and
so he's going to play 6 of 28 possible games.
You know what he is? He's like a slightly richer man's version of Trey Lance, who got off to such a terrible start in his career because he never got to play. And so suddenly it's year 3, and it's like, the guy needs to play. You got to find out what he is, but then he's not very good, and it's done, and he's never going to be able to turn into anything.
And so we'll see what happens with the concussion. There's a part of me that's like, you can go into the conspiracy theory of it if they just want to find a meaningful way to just get him out of his own head at this point. I mean, that performance on Sunday was as bad as anything he's done this year. And not to take anything away from the Packers, who easily won that game. It's not like they necessarily did anything. He just wouldn't throw the football. I mean, he just 8 sacks. He reverted back to the version of him we saw against the Bears and the Falcons where he just couldn't get the ball out. They had design plays that were short pass plays. He didn't throw to them. There's theories out there. He doesn't actually know the playbook. Like he's calling things and then looking not to what the preferred option is instead of doing what,
because he maybe only knows maybe that route or that.
And then there's the whole thing of, and this is, I think, a real issue for younger quarterbacks. I think we're seeing it a lot in college football. We're certainly seeing it in Lincoln. We're seeing it in the NFL at times with some of the young quarterbacks. Pre-snap reads are huge. You have to be able to read a defense. You have to know where these guys are. You have to have a good understanding of what your pass protection set is. So if the pressure is coming from this side, this is your hot read. This is your hot route. This is where the ball goes out. I mean, it's like you're sitting at home in your couch and you can see things that J.J. McCarthy absolutely should be able to see because he's standing up there at the line of scrimmage and he can't at all. And so it's an embarrassment. I mean, he was never a first-round talent. He was never someone that you had to trade up for to get the 10th pick. He was never a guy whose ceiling was so high that you thought you were drafting the future of your franchise. And yet people convince themselves of this because you live in this world where a retread quarterback in the NFL is bad, but a guy that is actually terrible could be something almost as good as a retread quarterback. So it's unfortunate that they're wasting a year in which they have the most expensive roster in the NFL.
That's crazy.
And they're loaded with all of these veterans. And I just saw another stat today. Go look up Wan'Dale Robinson's stats and Justin Jefferson's. They're identical.
Okay, so that's depressing.
One of those guys is catching passes from Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson. The other one is catching passes from J.J. McCarthy,
Carson
and
Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
And now, Max
Max
Brosmer. Yikes. All right, so there you go.
That's
JJ McCarthy.
That's what I have to look forward to. I sent you this text last night. It would be hysterical to me if Max Brosmer, who they've been excited about as this like developmental guy, is like the Brock Purdy version. Because I've said all along, it felt like the upside of JJ McCarthy was to just be able to drive the car like Brock Purdy can. Yeah. And he can't even do that.
No, he definitely can't.
And then I sort of resigned myself, like the upside to him is to be the poor man's version of Bo Nix, where he can sort of win games despite having no actual talent.
Can't do that.
To go along with it. Can't get there either.
Maybe Brosmer will be.
So now I'm just like, okay, Max Brosmer, let's see what you got.
Raising
because not only did they decide we're going to draft this guy, and then he's going to miss all of last year. We're not going to bring back the quarterback who threw 38 touchdowns or anything like that. We are just going to give the job to this rookie quarterback who missed an entire season, hadn't played that much in college, wasn't in a passing offense, was protected heavily by his head coach, probably wanted nothing to do with him in the NFL now that he's with, quarterback in Justin Herbert. They decided, hey, we don't actually need a real backup for this guy. We can go get Carson Wentz off the couch. We traded for Sam Howell and decided real quickly that wasn't going to be great. And then our emergency quarterback, instead of getting like an actual veteran, which a lot of teams have, they had Brett Rippon at one point.
Yeah.
No, it's Max Brosmer, who might just show up and play better than the 10th pick of last year's draft just because he can complete a pass and might know the offense.
So that's the Minnesota Vikings and how they're doing
Fun
right
time.
now.
So yeah,
You feel better, Shaq?
won the war, and yet I still lost big on this whole thing because I get to watch this, and then I get to go through more retread quarterback stuff. And instead, they could have just locked up Sam Darnold for a nice contract for a few years.
And at least you have
had a competitive team. Would have been good in a bad NFC where anybody is viable, other than maybe the Rams are just ahead of everyone at this point.
Pretty good.
You might be onto something with that. I know I've been killing you about your Chiefs take from a few weeks ago, but you have been on the Rams for a little bit, and they look great last night.
Yep, they looked pretty good. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more NFL as we roll on. Let's get to the game on Saturday night. When you watch Nebraska lose that game, like, does your mind go like big picture, or what comes to your mind as it pertains to the big picture? Like, do you lean into line play immediately and what happened with the lines and how, especially when Nebraska was on defense, it looked as bad as it's looked all year long? Or do you start to look into the like coaching component as it pertains to the issues that you saw? I don't even know if I'm asking the question the right way.
Yeah, I know what you're asking. I mean, where my mind went on Saturday is right off the bat, it went back to this, and I haven't looked it up to know that this is true. I think it died in the UCLA game, but so they played 11 games this year. I want to say at least 10 of them, Nebraska's had a drive in which they lost the ball on downs in plus territory. Every game except the UCLA game this year. Wow. They've had a drive end on downs in plus territory. I think in at least 6 of those 10, it's been inside the 15-yard line. Yeah,
they've now had a lot of, and especially the first drives of the games, where they have done that like exact same script.
It felt blatantly obvious to me that was going to happen when they refused to put TJ Lateef in motion on second or third down there.
Yeah.
The thing that's a killer is, for as well as Emmett Johnson has played, he is a juke move out to the right on one of those carries for a walk-in touchdown. I mean, he chose wrong.
Yeah.
And that's otherwise really hard to put anything else blame-wise on him. And I feel like I said this the last time I've sat on this show or a show like it. I think the most overrated aspect of Nebraska football right now is Dana Holgerson's play calling.
Yeah.
I don't think he has given Nebraska anything more than you could have possibly expected barely better than Marcus Satterfield. The offense has not played that well. I understand he has a backup quarterback and he's somewhat limited in that regard.
But hey,
and yet
it's not like it looked
just raving about what a great game he called against a bad defense against UCLA.
It's not like it looked that great before that. When Dylan was in.
Like, I don't understand what happened with Dana Holgerson. I don't know if it's the pieces. I don't know if he can't call things the way that he wants to. I don't know if he can't adjust to the Big Ten.
Sometimes it just happens, right? Like a guy in his
maybe
career.
He's lost his fastball. I mean, there's a reason he was losing games with Houston at the end of his time there.
Yeah.
But of all the things that we look back on, it's not Dylan Raiola. It's not the offensive line. It's not any of that. I just think about, we spilled so much ink and talked all the time about what Dana Holgerson would look like with a full year.
I know.
And you saw that game on Saturday, and that's not the reason that they necessarily lost, but you go through the season, the play calling has not elevated Nebraska to the point that they're better with it.
No.
He's been a net zero in terms of adding anything to this offense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's funny too, as you say, he's overrated. Like, I don't even think people view him as like this dynamite play caller. I think that there has been so much confusion as to why the offense has looked like it has throughout his now year of tenure, but in particular this year, because I'm with you. I was someone who was like, he's going to be able to have a nice jump in 2025. Or at least
I just don't think he can handle Big Ten. I think a Big Ten threw the curveball at him, and we've seen that before.
Man,
Scott Frost,
that's disappointing.
Well regarded as a play caller, gets to this conference, struggles against this defense. I mean, there is something to the Big Ten, and
God, that's so annoying.
I genuinely believe it is the best coach conference in the country, week in and week out. You have physically large humans that you have to figure out what to do with defensively that just body up your quick burst plays.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in the case of Dana Holgorsen, I don't know that he just didn't have enough other answers to provide his players.
He just doesn't. And this goes to the point of frustration with Holgorsen. This offense has too many good players.
Yeah, I
refuse
to believe,
too many
even
players.
with TJ Lateef, that you can't find ways to get the ball to Isaiah Hunter that aren't just that one screen pass.
Yeah.
Like, we can't find a slant route on the play sheet to get the ball to one of your more explosive players. There's been a whole season in which it doesn't feel like they've done anything unique with Ja'Cory Barney,
Correct.
who is one of the most unique talents on your roster.
Correct.
We rave about screens that are successful, and that's not like it's a new concept or anything, but it just seems like it's explosive and does something different because that's all they have.
Mm-hmm.
They have no downfield passing game. They have no way to free up their tight ends. I don't know what happened with Luke Lindenmeyer. I don't think he's disappeared. I just don't know that the quarterbacks have either found him or he's being asked to stay in more to protect or whatever else. There's no middle of the field.
No.
You can basically just take the entire middle section of the field out because every throw has to be a screen or to the outside or a fade through the back of the end zone because it's not going to get completed.
Yeah.
So it's a mess to me offensively. And I don't understand why, but I think number one at fault would be Dana Holgorsen.
So you came away
and I believe that he would think that too.
So you came away from the game much more disappointed by the offense than the defense. And I'm guessing if the answer,
I was the whole thing, like within the first 20 minutes, it was basically evident to me that there was no reason to watch any of the rest of that game.
It is pretty wild.
I wallowed through a fair portion of it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it like locked in.
Yeah.
But you don't convert. You give up a 98-yard drive or whatever it is and just,
so
right
fast.
down the field.
Yeah.
Oh, did they even face a third down? They faced one, maybe?
Good question.
To go down the list of things that I just find somewhat appalling about this version of Nebraska football, their second level on defense can't run. They don't have a single guy that can run sideline to sideline right now.
One third down. Yeah.
Not one. And I don't know if Shavers is banged up a little bit. He doesn't seem as explosive as the guy who made the great play against Justice Haynes on the third down screen in the second half against Michigan to get Nebraska to the ball back where it's 17-17. You felt like they had a chance with momentum. It doesn't feel like he's the same player right now. We know Marquise Watson-Trent, that hasn't worked how you wanted to.
No.
I think they have to go into the portal and get linebackers. And I'm excited about Dawson Merritt, and I'm curious to see what Christian Jones is, and I want to see Vincent Shavers continue to play. But they need guys that can run. They need guys that can run fit. They need guys that can hit people and get them down. We spend so much time talking about the defensive line, and they haven't been great. But I think because we spend so much time talking about the defensive line, we've absolved the middle level of that defense, and they don't have athletes.
They don't have guys who can clean up.
Some of it was Nebraska was blessed with a tremendous run of linebackers.
I was going to say, you about to bring up Levante?
But yeah, you
the guy
have
can
Levante,
clean stuff up.
Ignore Levante. Go to social media magnet Will Compton. That guy could run sideline to sideline.
Sure,
he can hit people.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to. Zaire Anderson can do these things.
Wow,
it's not like you have to go get superstars, but they look slow. Every time I watch Nebraska's defense, it feels like a collection of 11 guys that are shockingly unathletic, shockingly unable to turn and run. Do you ever see explosion with Nebraska's defense if Deshaun McCullough is off the field?
No, none.
There's not any explosion anywhere. I think Deshaun Singleton's nice. He's a linebacker playing safety. I think Rex Guthrie could be a good player down the line. He's way overmatched right now.
Yeah.
Your corners have done a nice job in coverage, but they can't be asked to make the tackle every time because the first 7 guys in front of them can't do it.
Mhm.
You know, like this is tough. It is tough to live that way if you are overmatched physically and you are undermatched athletically.
Yeah.
And it was a glorious reminder in that game that if you would have taken that score in August and you showed it to somebody like a Nebraska fan, they'd be like, yeah, I could see that. Because Penn State was expected to be one of the best teams in the country.
But then you get
They
there.
figured out who they are. They know they don't have a quarterback. It doesn't hurt them that bad because they're just leaning into running heavy and their offensive line is getting downhill on people.
Yeah.
That's what they were, and that's how they played Nebraska.
And you say some stuff there that I want to hit on when we return, so we'll do just that. Michael Severe is going to join us in a half hour for a Michael Severe Monday. Again, an abbreviated edition of Unsportsmanlike content today because of Creighton basketball as they fall to Baylor. They'll be back on the floor tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock versus Iowa State. So we will get to all sorts of stuff with the limited time we have over the next hour 45. A reminder that coming up a week from Friday and Saturday, our annual Stuff the Truck event is happening. The 5th, which is a Friday, the 6th, which is a Saturday at Westwood Plaza, 123rd and West Center Road, brought to you by Woodhouse Chevrolet, Molina Healthcare of Nebraska, and Westwood Plaza. 3 to 6 next Friday, 11 to 4 on Saturday. Toys for Tots coming up. Again, that is next weekend, December 5th and 6th, as we have now already gotten into the holiday season. Shape just said something that I want to unpack a little bit more when we return. So we will do just that. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this Monday of Thanksgiving week, 1620 The Zone. Josh Peterson, Mike Shaver, Nick Grimm with you on this Monday. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. We'll be on at the same time-ish tomorrow after another Creighton basketball game out in Las Vegas. TBD in what's going on Wednesday, as we were just discussing off the air. I got nothing for you, Schaefer. I'm going to text Happer and say, if you learn anything today about what's potentially at stake tomorrow, please let me know. I just don't know how the tiebreakers are working. As we said, it's an NIL event. It's a little, well, because it's games.
How many teams are there?
I think it's 20 that are in this thing, or 24.
Oh, wow.
24. It's huge. It is way bigger than it was last year. So, like, that's the other problem is I don't know, you have X amount of teams that win and X amount that lose. How do you figure out, because there's a possibility, I would assume that, 3 or 4 teams could be 0-2 and 3 or 4 could be 2. So I don't know how any of that crap works. So if anybody knows, let me know, and then we can figure out our Wednesday schedule from there. So yeah, there'll be more hoops tomorrow and then more hoops later in the week. We just don't know if it'll be on Wednesday or Thursday. So you said something towards the end of last segment, and I think it's where a lot of my frustration lies, is that we're seeing a lot of those quotes after games like this of, we were prepared, but punched in the mouth and we didn't respond the way that we wanted to, and yada, yada, yada. And like, I'm trying to figure out if I am like overreacting just in terms of my general frustration with kind of the state of things. And part of this, I will admit, part of this is I'm looking at Friday and I see a game that I'm picking Nebraska to lose. So I think that they will finish the season 7-5. And I like knowing if something is progressing. I like knowing if something isn't progressing. 7-5 is like this mushy number.
It's the worst possible result.
It really is. And it's funny. I had it before the year. Somebody asked earlier, what did Shafe pick before the year? I can look up on our board. Shafe was an 8-4 guy, which is very much on the table on Friday, among many others. Ken Walgamont, Mitch Sherman, Mike Farron, and more. And so 7-5 would match what I picked. And yet I think as of this moment in time, it would come with maybe more frustration than I would have guessed before the year, and in part because of how the Minnesota game looked and then how Saturday looked. I thought, and I hit on this a little bit with John on Friday, I wish I would have talked about it more in the earlier parts of the week. I just was trying to formulate my thoughts. I thought that Saturday could have been like one of those capital C culture wins for this program to like go on the road in a whatever hostile environment you want to call that, or how hostile it was. There was empty seats everywhere, but still a tougher atmosphere than certainly the Rose Bowl, against another team with an interim coach, against another team without their starting quarterback. And granted, Nebraska didn't have theirs, but fairly healthy otherwise. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have all your top skill players are good to go beyond Dylan. Yeah. I thought that they had a chance to do that. And it's, stop me if you've heard this before. It's not that you've lost, it's how you lost. And that, like, if you can't beat this team, this version of Penn State, or if you can't be, competitive with this version of Penn State, it does cause me to take a bit of a step back and just say, like, what are they doing and what is going on? And so that's where I now circle all the way back to my first question, or first line that I'd written down, is, am I overreacting when I kind of word vomit all of that at you?
I think to a degree, yes. Because I think while they didn't have James Franklin, they didn't have Drew Haller, you look across, they're better on both sides of the ball, on the defensive line and the offensive line. That's their all-time leading rusher now in terms of program history. So obviously, whether he's better than Emmett Johnson, up for debate, but at least a wash.
Yeah.
So your best player has now been washed out by that. And they're just better.
They're a better team.
They're just better. Like, there's not really another way to say it. I think the frustrating thing is, it would be the sort of team that if Nebraska had played Penn State in October, I think their chances of beating them would have been better, because I don't think Penn State had kind of figured out what they were until they went and did this against Michigan State, then carried it over at home against Nebraska. And Nebraska kind of played into it. I think Nebraska's offense is just a stripped down version with TJ Lateef.
Yeah.
They aren't really equipped to use his legs enough. There was times on Saturday where it felt like they allowed free rushers again, that pass protection has once again become an issue, where not so much just straight blocking, but they aren't communicating. And so the quarterback is either unaware of where that pressure is coming from, or anything else. So it's tough, because on one hand, it's Penn State just had better athletes.
Yeah.
On
Which
the
again, we knew
other,
before the season.
Penn State shouldn't have just come out there and thrown it in your face and left you for dead in second quarter of this game. Like that should not happen. But this is a team that doesn't travel. I mean, part of my tweet that I had earlier today where I went through their 4 road games they played against teams that I think they're 18-24 or 16-24. Forget the exact record. So they had 4 non-conference road games. And those are 4 of the worst teams on their schedule. And yet their scoring margin in that is significantly worse than at home, where they played much better opponents.
Yep. I mean, literally the record is flipped. The opponent's combined record for the road games in conference is 18-26. And the total margin for those 4 games, and obviously this is now buoyed because of Saturday, is minus 35.
But even then, you had your worst loss of the season was on the road to a team that's 6-5.
By far.
And it was an embarrassing loss in the moment of which it happened.
Yeah.
On top of it, you're giving up way more points on the road than you are at home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than Minnesota, I guess Michigan is the one team that's kind of put up points on Nebraska at home this year
30.
at 30. I mean, USC put up 21, Michigan State put up 24, Northwestern 21. I mean, so those are those 4. I don't expect Iowa to hit 30 this weekend. I don't.
They did.
I think it's if they get to the 20s, it's going to be
13-10. That's going to be the final score. 13-10.
Yeah, I mean it feels like
Way
a game
too
in the
high.
teens. So
yeah,
it's to me like there's something about their inability to travel right now that fascinates me because it's not like you're going into these tough environments.
No,
it was a half-empty stadium on Saturday. It's Maryland, and you're gutting out a 34-31 win over a team that might finish 4-8. It's going out to the Rose Bowl, and people were lauding them for a 28-21 win that never should have been that close. They could have won that game 56-10. And instead it's like, well, you just gotta accept the win. I mean, it was never really in doubt. And it's like, well, yeah, but they shouldn't have to get 3 first downs in the final 6 minutes of the game so they can ice it. And I don't care that they had a backup quarterback. That's a bad UCLA team.
Yeah.
So it tells me that Nebraska's record is very emblematic of who they are.
Yeah.
They are very much a 7 or 8 win team. They're playing an incredibly light schedule relative to what you expect in the Big Ten. And they are playing to that schedule.
See, and that's
this team. And they get up for USC and Michigan, and they can't do it for Minnesota and Penn State on the road.
Yeah, so now
they can get up for Northwestern at home because they got embarrassed, and they're going to do the same thing on Friday.
They're going to play.
They will show up and play Iowa tooth and nail because that is what they do at home. Will they win it? I think they will. I do think they're going to win on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the sort of thing that when we talk about culture, okay, great, because I see progress in there.
Sure.
But I also see some large gaps from where you thought you were to where, you actually are.
Yeah.
And the reality is you're a very mid team.
And it's so disappointing, man, because this schedule, you're going to look back on it years from now and say, oh my gosh, you got a horrible Penn State team. You got a down Michigan team, though they're oddly playing for a playoff spot this weekend. You got a version of USC that, as their recruiting class is really good right now, maybe they are about to take a step forward. So if that's true, let's just pretend it is. You got them right before it happened. Certainly an opportunity to win that football game, and then you got a bad Minnesota team on the road who smokes you. You got a bad Maryland team who takes you to the wire. You avoid Ohio State, you avoid Oregon, you avoid Indiana. Heck, man, you avoided Illinois. You didn't have to deal with them this year. Not like they're great, but I mean, imagine if they're on the schedule instead of, Maryland. And so that's the part again. So I say, am I overreacting?
You didn't play Washington?
Didn't play Washington. That's tough. And so you say I'm overreacting, but then you say all these words and I'm like, I don't think I'm overreacting anymore.
I'd say to a degree, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
true.
not like a straight, you're completely out of your mind on this. But I do think like some of it is, I just feel like I've had a pretty realistic view on who this team was all year. Like I haven't allowed the pendulum to swing overly.
Yeah, maybe I've
I didn't get upset when they got crushed by Minnesota because I thought they were going to lose that game. And,
but I thought they'd lose on Saturday, and I thought they'd lose by 10 on Saturday. But there's the difference between that and what they did.
No, that's fair.
And I thought they'd lose to USC, and they did. And that was a close game, and a quarterback got injured. And I left that one with a lot of the frustration being I mean, the famed
That
drive,
you're up
of course.
14-6, and you have the opportunity to go up 21-6 with
Yeah,
your offensive coordinator
yeah.
that we spent all offseason glazing, to use the term that gets used now.
Wow, look at that,
You
Gen
know,
Z Schaefer.
Just
Nice.
glazing Dana Holgerson.
Ugh.
You're running the ball down the throat of USC, but
Glazing.
he's gotta pass. Got to press that pass button. We need a long developing pass play over bad offensive line. Their immobile quarterback. And now they got the ball going the other way.
Yeah, certainly that's the one.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they are.
Yeah.
Like they're a very average football team playing a below average schedule and getting
but that's the worst part of it.
Slightly above average results if they go 8-4.
Yeah, but what if they don't, man? Like, and you know, you and I have another show tomorrow, and I want to talk about the Iowa game with you, and we're probably just not gonna have enough time today. But dude, like, this game is, I don't know if we can overstate how massive this game is. You want to talk about?
I mean, you can, because it's not as big as previous ones they played.
I disagree. I think it's the biggest game in Matt Rule's
You
career.
think it's bigger than 2019?
I'm talking about Matt Rule's career.
Okay, well, he's only had 3 of them.
I know that was only year 2 for Frost.
Yeah, but I get that. But I'm just saying, just in retrospect, you're 5-6 in going into that game against that Iowa team with a chance to get to the bowl game.
Oh, I know. But dude, you cannot lose this game. If you want to talk about just a stink bomb going into the offseason, they got it. They got to win this game on Friday. Now, I don't think they will, but they got to get it done. They got to find a way to get it done.
2023, you're 5-6. You need that win.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, but it's year 1.
Tommy Hill's picking that ball off.
Year 1.
See, I just don't know. I'm not sure I can get there.
All right, cool. We can unpack
it's year 1, but you
tomorrow.
went 0-3 in November to get to that point. The angst of that moment going into that game in 23 was pretty high.
Yeah, but you were.
Of course, you're also rolling out there with Heinrich Harburg, or not even Heinrich Harburg, with Crazy Legs Chubba Purdy, and
people love saying Crazy Legs.
I mean, I think
I went on a rant about that.
Is that a Happer thing?
Yeah. No, I thought that was a Tom Chattel thing. I
thought it was a Happer.
I thought it was like an old sports writer. Like they describe anyone who runs Crazy Legs. You know, hey, it's Crazy Legs Fran Tarkenton out there running around in Minnesota in the cold weather. So,
You're not supposed to run as a quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. What is this? What sport is this? What are we watching?
I just assumed it was alliterative.
George
his
Hallis.
First name starts with a C, and
is that what it is?
Call him Frenetic Fran or something like that? Frantic Fran?
Yeah. So what's TJ?
Frantic Tarkington?
What's TJ Lateef then? Tuck it, TJ.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that one gets kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess it does. It does. We'll try to figure out nicknames for TJ Lateef.
We'll work on it.
Michael Severe is still going to join us in a few minutes, so many things to unpack with Michael. I know he got a stir going this weekend on Severe Reaction with some of his opinions, so we can talk about those and more with him as we roll on. Josh Peterson and Mike Schaefer, Nick Grimm as well on this Monday of Thanksgiving week here on 1620 The Zone. Football season is in full swing, and however you like to get on the action, you can do it on Underdog right now in Nebraska. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Plus, with Underdog's ultra-fast payouts, you can get your profits in a snap. So, download the app today. Use promo code 1620TheZone to score $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all on Underdog. Crypto.com predictions powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involves risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit nadex.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules for Crypto.com predictions. The term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Josh Peters and Mike Shaver with you, Nick Grimm as well. Unsportsmanlike Conduct here on this Monday, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, zonetv.live. A reminder, it is the Playoff or Bust $15,000 sweepstakes on 1620 The Zone. Get entered to win now at 1620thezone.com. Brought to you by Lanahan Nurseries. All right, so Michael Sphere is going to join us in a few. We have been having some conversations so far. The chat's freaking out. Everyone's sad about Nebraska. The season sucks. It's almost over, though, and then the cold, dark winter will arrive, which is exciting for us all. So we thought, let's
cold, dark winter with the exciting light of the portal.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say
who could be this year's portal superstar.
I thought you were going to say the exciting light of the sunrise and sunset being later and later, earlier, the good stuff. We'll get there, right? We have less than a month to go.
Your seasonal affliction is just you.
It's dark outside.
Yeah, you just gotta.
I wanted to walk Banks when I woke up this morning, and I couldn't because it was rainy and dark.
We have less than a month before we're at the lowest point of the year.
But then, you know what, Nick? It's always darkest just before the dawn. Two-Face said that in The Dark Knight.
Is that where that quote comes from?
Yes, he said it. Did he not say it? Did
No.
you never see The Dark Knight?
I'm sure he said that, but I don't believe that's the origin of that quote.
Is he also you live long enough to see yourself become the villain?
He
quote?
was that guy indeed.
Harvey Dent. Very quotable.
Very quotable guy. That's why he was a politician. That's a movie. This next movie from Movie Club, The Mask, if you want to check that out. It's available on Netflix. All right, so watch that on Netflix, and we'll talk about it a week from Friday. Anyway, where I was going with this was John Bishop has become a meme today. Far and wide, they're sharing his calls on the internet, calling him Jim Ross. You know Jim Ross. He used to do wrestling announcing, or does still. I don't know.
No, he does.
Okay, is he dead? Or
he's not dead. He's alive.
May he rest in power if he is. If he is
he's
still
not dead.
May he rest because resting is important.
I think he does a podcast. He seems like he's still putting out content.
I was actually going to make a Matt Rule joke, and then you just kind of set it up for me. Anyway,
nice.
Nick, we have some John Bishop audio to play. Joey has kind of let us in on what these are.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, let's begin. What do we have for the folks at home?
We have multiple. We have John going bonkers. It's called John Goes Bonkers over bad blocking call.
John Goes Bonkers. This is like baby Bible bonkers on...
It's a minute and 14 seconds of John just going for it.
All right, let's hear what John sounded like. This is courtesy of 1620 The Zone.
Yes, it is.
12, 11, 10. Coming up on 2 minutes to go. 8 on the shot clock. Carr into the paint. Missed the dunk. And a fucking foul. What are you talking about?
That was 2 seconds after the play ended.
Carr driving. He's outside the circle. He's outside the circle and he's set. He was outside the circle and he was set. Brett Smith blew it. He was outside the restricted area. He was straight up and down. He was set like the statue sitting out in front of New York, and they called that. That's an absolutely horse crap call in a game that's been played out like this. Unbelievable bailout call by an incompetent referee. And ball don't lie, Carr misses the free throw. Look at Harper. He is standing there like a statue outside the restricted area, and they call that foul. You got to be embarrassed by that. How do you not see that?
Wow.
Yep.
Love the fire from John. Also love the drop there in the middle where he says that's a horse crap call.
That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Me when a bad caller chimes in on Big Red overreaction.
That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Me when that idiot Eagles fan says Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott.
Wow, are you going to talk about your wife
No,
like that?
Nick, she wouldn't say that. But that one guy would who called me the C word in the chat on YouTube that one time. You're going to defend that guy, Nick.
That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Thank you, Nick. All right. What else do we have from John today?
We have an apology from John.
What?
Yeah.
He's never apologized to me.
Yeah, here we go.
Sorry for that outburst, but that was a horrible call.
That was bad.
I mean,
Bad.
when you are standing there, when you have defensive position, and the shooter actually goes to his outside.
And there was barely any contact.
And there was hardly any contact to speak of.
Awesome.
And we also got John making fun of people with only one eye.
Oh.
McChesney again on the ball. They get in. Oh, and they call the foul. A terrible pass and another questionable foul call. That was a terrible pass by Baylor. Let's watch it again.
Oh, no. That ball is out of bounds off of Baylor. Off his foot.
And another assumptive call. This time, one-eyed Pat Driscoll used his bad eye on that one. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. There was no foul whatsoever. The pass was an errant pass. It was headed out of bounds. And Baylor gets bailed out again by incompetence.
Mhm.
John Bishop on the call with Connor Happer. Creighton loses today versus Baylor, 81-74. They'll play Iowa State tomorrow at 1 o'clock. By the way, I saw a tweet because this was making the way around the internet earlier today, and it was a screenshot from Creighton Cretin. I bet this person follows you, Shafe, on Twitter. Creighton Cretin had a separate screenshot that said, if I was a hometown sports announcer, I would be saying stuff about the opponents like, these are evil people. These are not good human beings. And he said, that's our guy right there. That is some good stuff. We love listening to John Bishop on the radio. You can hear him tomorrow. Pre-game coverage will begin at 12:30. Tip after 1 o'clock.
On 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Excellent
The
job,
last 2 minutes of a close game with Bishop is
All-timer.
always incredible.
Uh-huh.
I always love when you fill in around him doing a basketball game because you will just send me things that he says.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like, so I'm hearing it and then I'm getting your reaction to it too.
My
Good
my
times.
favorite, my all-time favorite's a Big East tournament game with Providence, and they just both teams have been bricking free throws, and just has this line where it's just like, there's another free throw coming. He's like, God help us if this goes to overtime.
I mean, how many steps does the guy take?
Oh, that's a bad call. Good stuff. That was John Bishop with Connor Happer.
I could see Bishop moonlighting a little bit
Unbelievable.
as a wrestling announcer.
Oh, yeah. He
I
loves
mean,
wrestling.
he's got the ability to just explode into a call.
You got to be
he's
embarrassed by
calling the
that.
action, and all of a sudden it is just an explosion of emotion. It's great.
It very much
I can
is
identify
great.
with it pretty well.
How do you not see that?
Good question, Nick. Good question.
But now it makes me want John Bishop to have to call games in the Big Ten Conference and get to experience that special brand of terror.
Nobody wants that, Schaefer. Nobody wants that. Hey, speaking of hoops, the Mavs return home to play some basketball on Saturday, the 29th at Baxter. They're facing off against Mid-America Christian. You can listen this week to the Connor Happer Show for your chance to win tickets into the game. That's a basketball game.
Very nice.
Speaking of basketball, when we return, our favorite basketball member of Nebraska media, Michael Severe, will join us, give us the full skinny on what went down today in Las Vegas, what he saw from Nebraska in their victories in Kansas City last week. Everyone was freaking out about that. We haven't even talked about him today. What's going on? Probably a lot of football, though.
Yeah, I was thinking it was just mostly going to be football.
Talk about that Kirk Cousins pass. It probably made him happy. He's hoping they suck.
Yeah, I was going to say,
He
if
wants that
anybody
number
enjoyed
one.
that pass, it'd be Michael.
Yeah, indeed it is. All right, more to come on Sportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone.
It'd be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
From your mom.
I don't know. I don't like that severe guy.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe. If the first word is hash brown, you guys can add patty or something Latin if you want. It's still a hash brown. I remember the first thing I thought walking out of there was, okay, we're back. You just got to go in the back. I'm sorry. This cat, now he had a good freshman year. He sucked last year. Why is it a surprise that he went through a struggle this year?
Michael already brings the color.
I don't care about Fat Luca. I don't care about street clothes Anthony Davis. You both can go to hell.
Michael's black. Michael Sphere joins us each and every Monday at or around this time. Bobbing his head. Michael, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Everything good? Everybody excited?
What was that?
Big week? What's wrong?
Sorry, Nick. I didn't want to throw him under the bus, but sorry. What was just?
I had the tab muted. The tab was still muted. I didn't unmute the tab because I never remembered.
I wasn't
to
throwing
unmute
you under the
tab.
bus. You can tell you don't have to get defensive.
I know. I messed up.
I was
made
just
a
going to say I
mistake.
couldn't hear Michael, and I thought it was on my end, but it was actually
No,
Grim's fault.
it was me. I messed up. I'm bad at my job.
Okay, see, why do you always do this, Nick? Do you do this in fights with your soon-to-be wife?
No.
Where you're like,
don't-
oh, fine. I guess you don't want to marry me anymore, huh?
No, that'd be silly.
Okay, good. Don't do that on the show then. Hi, Michael.
You're saying he's a faller on the sorter guy?
Oh, yeah. Man,
Grabs
I
swords and stabs himself with them?
I was just trying to say, oh, yeah, just a technical issue, and then Nick just went into a
little technical,
diatribe.
yeah.
Holding
Yeah.
myself accountable. That's all.
It's too technical for you.
Yeah,
It's too technical.
for
Too
me.
technical for you. Yeah.
Michael, congrats to you on your Saints losing again. Very happy for you.
It was a good effort. Tyler Shuck to be the lowest scoring, lowest graded PFF player on the team. Solid effort by Tyler Shuck. Way to go. I think you're going to put everything into it. When you play the game, I want you to give everything you got. If you can be bad, be the worst you can be. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's get that number 1 overall pick, or if nothing else, the number 2, so we can trade with Tennessee. You know.
Shane, who would you rather have, Tyler Shuck or J.J. McCarthy?
Tyler Shuck.
Whoa.
No, you
that's
wouldn't.
Depressing.
No, you
I mean,
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No,
Are
you
you
wouldn't.
serious right now?
I am serious. Look. I know the issues you have with JJ McCarthy. I know all the injuries.
Michael, they're
he's
not
had.
my issues. Have you
I
watched him play any of these games?
I understand. The guy hasn't been healthy for 3 weeks in a row since he was in college. He's a winner. He lost 2 games from high school through college. Let's just let him get healthy. Let him get everything back together, and let's play some football with a healthy JJ McCarthy.
What is happening
Let's go.
here?
Let's go, JJ. Let's go.
He can't throw passes. He can't do anything.
It's not true. We've seen him throw passes. We know he can. The guy is just banged up. He's just banged up.
I don't need Bowsermans. I need the ball where JJ.
He's not a Bowserman. He's not a Bowser. He threw one of the best passes I saw all day yesterday. Threw one of the best.
The one that he layered
over the left side. It was one of the best passes I threw all day.
Yeah,
I watch all the games.
You know why that one stood out so much? Because it actually left his hand. He didn't just sit on it.
Because it was completed over 2 guys inside another safety and hit the receiver in the hands. That's why.
You know
he can do it. It's there. It's inside him.
That beautiful play action from Kirk Cousins. That was the best pass I saw.
Have we learned? I mean, that was easy. I mean, come on.
He dropped
it was against the Saints secondary. I mean, it was easy.
Bucket.
Throw it as far as you can, old man. It's like the old guy who shoots 3-pointers. Just back up to the top of the key and shoot it as far as you can, and a good chance it's going to go in. It's the same thing. It's not much of a difference. It really isn't.
It's no joke. I could listen to this for 20 minutes. I do love listening to you guys talk about NFL because the worldview that each of you have on the sport is like so different.
It's different.
And so it's great. You guys would do a great NFL podcast.
What happened was in 2009 and then 2010, the Saints won the Super Bowl. So because of that, I have a different attitude in general than Schaefer, who has been waiting and debating for oh so long, waiting for a Viking song, and he hasn't gotten that yet. So once he gets it, he'll get back to where I am right now. But listen, have we learned anything about not giving up on quarterbacks too soon?
Actively enjoy rooting against
you
my
won a
team.
championship. Listen, we have learned over the last 2 seasons that don't give up on quarterbacks too soon. That's one thing we've learned. Look at all of these guys who we all said, oh, they're done. I mean, he's played what? How many games has he played? Total.
5.
6.
In the 6. Oh my God! Give up on him. Let's throw him in the trash. Let's throw him off the Bob Carey Bridge. He played 6 games.
Look, how do I sign up for this? Is this an online
Pull up
position
Peyton
that needs
Manning's
no
numbers.
signatures?
Pull up Peyton Manning's numbers through the first 5 games of his career.
Oh, don't do
Let's pull
this.
them up. Let's
Not
pull them up.
do this.
Pull them
This
up.
is not how this goes.
That's how it works.
The issue isn't so much what JJ McCarthy might be in the future. It's that
What he
you
is
took
now?
a 14-win team and you said, hey, this guy who didn't have to throw any passes at any of his critical games at Michigan.
Ooh, that's a timeout. That's a damn lie.
Oh, okay,
He
yeah.
made
We're going to talk about 2 games.
They don't
where
win.
threw for over
He made
200
3
yards.
passes, all of them across the middle of the field. All of them
insane.
great passes. 3 of them.
Insane.
That's not right. It's not true. You can't say he didn't have to make any. We can go back and look. He did.
Michael,
He lit up Ohio
what
State.
number of player was he important on that Michigan team for their
He was
title?
important. He had to run for some stuff. He had to make some throws. I saw him. I saw Kuiper break it down on the tape.
Bigger arm Craig Krenzel.
Can we say this? Let's say this though. None of this is his fault. You're blaming the front office. You're blaming your head coach.
I'm not blaming him.
You're actually, it's not his fault.
Himself 10.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
He's a 5th-round talent all by himself. He knew it.
He's not a 5th round. He's not a 5th round talent.
Was he the number 10 player overall?
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's put a pin in it and come back. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it later. We'll come back. My Baker Mayfield conversation that I had back with Damon 6-7 years ago. We'll put a pin in it. We'll come back.
6-7 years ago.
He's got Sam Darnold. I have Baker turning it around. Guys turn around their career.
Cowboys beat the Eagles yesterday too. Michael, so I think I know the answer to this question, but I want to ask it anyway. Were you
Is a Hogerson question?
No. Well, I mean, I guess it can be. Were you more disappointed by the offense or the defense on Saturday night in the Nebraska-Penn State football?
I expected the offense. I expected the defense. I expected them to run the ball. I spent 25 minutes on the phone with my good friend Ed Hobbs on Friday, talking Hobbs off of betting $50 on the money line for Nebraska.
Oh my gosh, he saved some money.
He gave me all these arguments, and I gave him all of them back. And I said, listen, dude, I know this team. I know what the numbers show. This number's big for a reason. Do not bet your money. Don't do it. I was at an event on Friday, excuse me. And the guy asked me, he goes, give me 3 scenarios. What's going to happen in this game? I said, the first scenario, Nebraska gets blown out. The second scenario is Nebraska wins a very, very close game because Penn State turns the ball over 2 or 3 times and, one of the running backs gets hurt or something like that. Or the other scenario is that they only lose by 14. Those were the 3 scenarios I had because of based off what – remember I told you guys last week, once I looked at the Big Ten numbers and and put everything into the computer, I'm like, ooh, this is not going to be good. And it wasn't good. But I did think the offense would play better. I've watched Penn State. I watched them give up explosive plays. I've watched them give up some run game. The run defense was not great throughout the season. And it was one of the worst, and I can't say the worst because Minnesota was the worst called game all year by Dana Holgorsen. This is the second worst game called by Dana Holgorsen. And it's not even close. The thing I was excited about Dana was I thought they would score more in the red zone. You know how much I love finishing drive rate, right? Mm-hmm. And so I chart finishing drive rate every week. I went back and I charted all of Satterfield's, all of his games in 2003, the games he had in 2004. And you look at those first 4 games by Holgorsen, and you look at what his finishing drive rate was compared to what Satterfield was. And it was a full point more. Do you know how big of a difference
that is
to go from? It's huge. To go from 3.73 to almost 4.73 is an enormous jump. And in those 4 games, they made that kind of jump. Okay. Mm-hmm. Even in the first part of this season, in his first 4 games against Power 4 competition, so we're including Cincinnati, against Power 4 competition, he was at 4.36 and 2.36 per drive. If you're at 2 per drive, you're good. If you're at 5 for finishing drive rate, you're really good. But 4.36 that's top 20 in the country. That's really good. But if you look at the last stretch of games, these last 5 games, they've dropped all the way down to 3.72, from 4.36 to 4.72, from 2.36, that's per drive, to 1.86. Those are huge drops. Why? Why is that happening? Well, one reason is because they scored 6 points against Minnesota and they scored 10 points against Penn State, right? Along with successful drives. But it's just because he's lost any creativity whatsoever. The creativity he had when he came out last year in those first 4 games, and we saw him getting the ball to Barney, and we saw him getting the ball to what's your dog's name? Josh?
Slider.
Banks.
Banks.
Mr. Banks.
Getting the ball to Banks and doing all
yeah.
the stuff he was doing, right? That has kind of disappeared. I mean, what he does as a coordinator, and I've seen this as a head coach and a coordinator, he gets the ball to the X receiver, he gets the ball to the backfield, the ball out of backfield, and guys in the middle of the field on crossing routes. That's what they do, right? They're 4 verts, crossers, run the ball, get the ball to the back. What's happened? Why at the goal line? Now I know he should have scored on 3rd down. Emmett should have scored on 3rd down. But on 4th down, at that point, when you don't have Dylan Raiola in the backfield and you got an athletic quarterback, how do you not give him a 2-way go? And by the way, this young kid, this 18-year-old, throws the sprint out as well as anybody I've seen, right? And I hate sprint out, but he throws it well. So run sprint out. I'll take that. Anything with a 2-way go, but they run the ball into one of the best parts of Penn State's defense, which I don't get. So, yeah, I'm frustrated with Hogerson. I think he's the bigger problem right now. As much as I think the defense, he's the bigger surprise to me. Excuse me. The defense is a mess on itself, and it's what you get for not spending the money and not hiring a defensive coordinator who had coordinated in this generation.
Yeah. So let's go to that defensive side. Beyond just, whatever it is with John Butler, do you share the same concerns that I do with Nebraska's just middle of their defense looking as unathletic as they do right now? I mean, I don't know if it's somehow more noticeable at the end of the season than it was at the beginning of it, but they look like they can't run. This looks like a horribly unathletic defense right now. And maybe that was just the Penn State game, but it kind of looked like that against UCLA at times too.
Nothing makes you look more unathletic than not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The reason why a baby runs the way a baby does is because they don't know what they're doing. You watch what 37 did on the run early over that left side down the sideline. At no point is he taught in that situation to take the exact same gap as his linebacker did, as Shavers did. At no point is he told that. There is no time in practice that Cam Leonard was told to turn back inside, do a pirouette, and take on a double team instead of getting to the sideline. At no point. It's almost like either they're not being taught what to do or they just forget it when they get in the game. That play is a great example of you're where you're supposed to be, but whatever reason you take yourself out of the play. On the touchdown that made it 37 points, you had 3 guys that all took the wrong step, that all lost their eyes and made it a walk-in touchdown. The touchdown before that to make it 30. Again, 2 guys. Now, Guthrie is a hard-working player and he's not a Big Ten safety currently. He's just not, especially in coverage, but also in his anticipation of where he needs to be. I said this earlier in the season. You lost Hartzog, who everybody hated, but trust me, he would have made a lot more plays because he knew what to see and he knew what to do. And you don't have those guys right now. It is a huge combination of either poor instruction or guys aren't listening. It's one of those two, because you can go back and watch the plays called. They're lined up where they're pretty much supposed to be, but they don't make the play. And then on top of that, I don't know why he called so many blitzes in a game where the quarterback wasn't your problem. Even though he had a great game, he wasn't your problem. Your problem was the run game. I went back and I watched the game again, just looking for how many times they ran the ball into a blitz or away from a blitz. And the last thing I got to was about 150 to 160 yards on runs and 3 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns and one that got tackled way downfield, where they blitzed either the wrong side or the blitz took them out of the gaps for the run inside. I don't know what he was calling. The last time I saw Butler get this out coach, and I use the word out coach, and I know I'm not a coach, was the end of the Michigan game, where everything he did, the Michigan coaches countered and they won. So
how many of those plays, Michael, were runs? Do you like?
No, I only counted the runs. I only counted the yards.
What was the number of them? Do you remember?
It was about 7. It's about 7 runs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, 2 of them, one was for 50, right? The first one was for 50. And then you had a 10, you had a 4, you had another one that was about, it's 8 of them total. So it was 8 for 150 roughly. And that's, you can't always tell if it's complete plush pressure based off of the camera angle they give you, especially if they don't give you a replay, which NBC was, I guess, saving money and weren't doing as many replays as they needed to do on Saturday. But just based off of those that I watched, where it looked like to me it was plush pressure, that's what I thought they got.
Yeah. So you had a tweet yesterday about the youth on the roster compared to the lack of youth on Penn State, and you just said something there as well about it's either they're not doing what they're told or they're not being coached in the right way. Like, I wonder if you think that there's like a conversation to have about that point that you made yesterday and what you just said a few minutes ago.
And in that tweet that I put out, if you read it, I'm not saying that the talent's not a problem.
Sure.
I'm saying that I believe that the youth may be as much of a problem as a talent issue, because I go back to Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker, and you look at those guys when they're sophomores or second year in the program, and then you look at them when they're 6th and 5th year seniors and how they played, or even how they played when they were 5th and 4th year seniors, right? And you look at that, and I think that these guys are going to get better. Now, I don't know if they're getting the defensive line coaching that they were getting last year. It doesn't appear that way because I think guys have regressed. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's because you hired a guy who hadn't been a full-time defensive line coach. I don't know. Maybe because you hired a defensive coordinator who hadn't been a defensive coordinator since, again, another generation.
2013,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, the thing that really stands out to me is how many redshirt seniors Penn State had starting. It was ridiculous to have, what do they have, like 12 guys who were seniors or redshirt.
But this is the reason that they were a top 5 team in the
exactly. But you don't think about it until it starts popping up on the screen, and they show the names of them, and it's redshirt senior, and then you think about who they're going against, and you see guys who are 2nd and 3rd year, some 1st year players out there, and I thought that was a part of the reason. I'm not saying it's not a talent issue, because it is a talent issue, but a big part is, can those guys who are young right now become better as they get older? And I hope so, through coaching and just being talented players who progress and get better.
Is there anything for you about the fact that 2 of Nebraska's ugliest performances came on the road in a week in which you also had a little bit of outside distraction going on, whether you consider the Raiola thing that or not, or certainly the Matt Rule Penn State discussion when you look at this Minnesota Penn State? I mean, they played 4 road games this year, and they're against 4 of the worst teams on their schedule in conference play.
Yeah.
Penn State being the lone exception, but their record would indicate that they are. And so, I don't understand why they seem like a very different team on the road than they are at home. They give up.
Well, I think most teams are
a lot worse.
I think most are, Schaefer. We talked about, Washington finally played well on the road last week on Saturday, right? It's the first time
for them, though. This is a different travel going to Penn State, but
travel. I think travel is partially overrated in terms of the travel portion of it. Now, having a game at 11 o'clock when they're 9 o'clock body clock or that kind of thing, I understand that being more of an issue. But anytime you go on the road, you're not going to play as well. I mean, very rarely are teams better on the road than they are at home. But I will say this about Nebraska. The Minnesota game, something was off, and I believe Sierra Wright mentions it in the postgame. I even sent the copy to Josh and John, and they didn't know why I was sending it to them. But he was talking about that maybe people's minds were somewhere else. Listen to him in that minute and a half he did on Saturday.
Yeah.
He talked again and said there was something about the mental attitude, and that's the wrong phrase. He didn't use that phrase. Mindset, I think he said. There was something wrong with the mindset. He didn't know why the mindset wasn't as good for this game. That, again, who does that go back on? I always believe it's on coaches. I know people say,
you spend all this time talking about culture. Shouldn't your culture be able to travel outside the state lines?
Yeah, or deal with what you just said. Any kind of, we're playing extra hard and we're tight because we're going back to Matt Rule's home, or we're playing tight or whatever else because Matt Rule's rumored to go someplace else. It should be able to overcome all that. Yes. I don't know if it has. Listen to the guy who I trust most when he stands in front of the microphone, and it's Sierra Wright. at this point of the season because he's pretty honest in what he says.
And by the way, real quick, Michael, it was the quote was mindset was the word. He says, I don't know why we didn't come with the right mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's saying, and he noticed it, right? When you watch the beginning of that game, and I know that Emmett Johnson's run was a big thing to get you fired up, but did they look like that they were really, really ready for it? Did they look like it? I don't know. I wasn't there, but you know where I was? In Minnesota. And I saw them on the field. And I saw what Minnesota was doing getting ready for that game. And I saw what Nebraska was doing getting ready for that game. And Minnesota was ready. They had a hate in their eyes and they had joy in their heart about wanting to beat Nebraska in that building again. And that's what they went out and did. And when in Penn State, when you're playing for your seniors, when you're playing for, say whatever you want about the bowl, when you're playing for your head coach, that's a lot of great motivation, man. It really is. And it's obvious with all the talent they have, they should be better than they are. But they were a weak team, like Nebraska 2007. You know, you lose to USC and your season's over. You lose to Oregon, you fell apart. They're a weak team.
What's your early thoughts on the matchup with Iowa? I mean, you want to talk about a team who's going to show up in Lincoln with hate in their heart and joy in their eyes, or whatever way you said it. That
hate in their eyes and joy in their heart.
Friday morning, man, they're going to be ready to go.
I know. I have so many lunch and brunch and breakfast bets for Nebraska to beat Iowa.
Record, or is it okay? So it's about the game itself.
It's about the game. It's about the game. It's from ones that from early in the season, from yesterday. I have a lot of bets on. I said 3 or 4.
Are you
weeks
on the
ago.
same side on all of them, or are you splitting the baby here?
No, I'm on the same side. Listen,
Okay,
man. This is what I said a few weeks ago. I said Penn State's a horrible matchup. Yeah. I think is a really good matchup, and I know they run outside zone. I know all of that. I meant everything else. Senior day at home. I believe that Nebraska will be able to get the ball to their wide receivers. What you have to do against Iowa is get outside the numbers. You got to get outside the numbers. You got to be able to take advantage of your skill, whether it's running backs. The reason why Wisconsin used to have so much success against Iowa was getting outside the numbers. Now, Wisconsin's, kind of falling apart, obviously, in what they are. But Nebraska has the ability to do that. Emmett can get outside the numbers. Barney can get outside the numbers. If they throw it, both those wide receivers can get outside the numbers. I think Nebraska can move the ball enough on Iowa to where it comes down to, like it has many games, to a field goal game. Nebraska has lost these games because their special teams is so bad. Their special teams is not bad right now. Even though I heard somebody say they lost a special teams battle this week because of a blocked punt. I mean, because of a fake punt. Dude, Barney had like a 40-yard return, a 28-yard return. I mean, he's gonna give you a chance. Now, can you stop Caden Weigent? They haven't given up any punt return yards to anybody before all season long. So if you can stop Caden Weigent, who had 107 yards at halftime, and Iowa had 101 on offense, I would say you can be in this game, and it comes down to the end, and it's a special teams game, and Nebraska wins because of special teams. That's what I've been saying all season.
I genuinely think Jonathan Smith should be fired for that performance alone.
Just giving it,
that game away.
A lot of coach. You want a coach to get fired? The head coach of the Indianapolis Colts should be fired because you had the devil dead, because you had Satan with a stake through his heart, because Kansas City was through. It was done. And you do that, and you make us suffer through letting Kansas City stay alive for one more week. It's ridiculous. Fire him for horrible coaching down the stretch.
As I said last week, America needed to root for the Cowboys against the Eagles. We did what must be done. Now it's time for us to do it again on Thanksgiving against the Kansas City Chiefs. America's team, Michael, the Dallas Cowboys.
Be my guest. I was very happy for you that you won the game, especially in the way you did it. You know that I don't dislike the Eagles. I like the Eagles. I have a lot of friends who are Eagles fans. I do enjoy going on the WhatsApp and reading their comments as this is happening. That is a good joy for me as a Saints fan right now. I know the joy I can get. And, that's good for you guys. But the Colts should have finished them. Yeah, the Colts should have finished them. Do you want
3 and outs to finish the game? Yikes.
Yeah, well, not just that.
Oh, man.
So without the face mask by Sauce Gardner, that was a 3rd and 17 play. They throw the ball to the sideline. They only get like 4 yards. They're punting. That drive's over. and he grabs a face mask, which again shouldn't be an automatic first down and give you 17 yards, but it is. Drives me nuts. Do you want the degenerate bet of the week from this past week?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The degenerate bet of the week was incredible, but it was simple. It was Stanford over 6.5 team total.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, that's what their team total was?
It was 6.5. With 11 seconds remaining, they scored a touchdown and made the extra point to get the cover.
Wow.
It was, I don't know how
Wow.
you call it. And I had turned it off because I was so nervous that I couldn't watch it. So I was watching it on my Score mobile app, watching it on there. And you know,
Wait,
Score
so wait,
mobile
they
app
scored
was
31. I'm confused. So what? I'm confused. What was this bet? Because they scored 31 points.
no,
It's
it was
Syracuse, not Stanford.
Oh,
Syracuse. I'm sorry. Did I say Stanford?
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. Yeah,
Syracuse. Yeah,
Okay.
70-7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one
Oh
was
my gosh, that's hilarious.
and it's crazy because on Score Mobile, it showed that game was over. I don't know if you ever watched on Score Mobile before. It'll show you like game over, but it's really not over. There's some time left. So you have to go to the chat and see. And then I was kind of suffering through. So yeah. The other one was under 38.5, St. Francis and Stonehill College.
Now that is degenerate.
20-10 final. It's a winner, baby. It's a winner.
Wow.
It's a winner. You got to bet them all. You got to bet them all.
That's the level of degenerate right there.
Mm-hmm. That's
You got
why
to bet them all.
at.
You can't just bet like a couple. You can't just be betting the big game. You got to bet them all.
Yeah.
Do you have a feeling?
Michael, you and I might be
Bubble.
working together on Friday. Might be doing a
That's
little.
what I heard. But I
pregame.
watched Creighton play today, and as much as John complained about the refs, that wasn't why they lost that game.
Well, that's why I
just not
think
as
we might be
athletic.
working again. Because if they lose again tomorrow, I'm pretty sure that means they're playing on Thanksgiving, which means that he'll be flying home on Black Friday.
Oh, is that right?
That's the way that it works out.
Oh, I was thinking that if they lost,
No.
then
yep,
he would.
yeah.
Oh, that's
And I
ridiculous.
don't-
So they
I don't have
lose both.
Yeah, because they play Iowa State tomorrow, and I don't have a parking pass, so I don't even know how this is going to work for me. John told me I should do the show from the studio, but I was thinking, man, Michael doesn't like that though. He's going to yell at me again like he did back when we worked here at the station a handful of years ago.
I yelled at you for that.
Yeah, you got pissed at me for bigger overreaction. I don't want to make you mad. If I got to
You
drive
drove
the
from the
link,
studio and you didn't come out to the game.
I was going to, and you were like, "What is he doing?" So I don't
Okay.
want to make you mad, Michael.
I'll admit I don't
remember,
remember that.
and I don't know where I'm going to park,
Yeah.
but I'll do it. I'll do it for.
Yeah.
They're not giving me a pass. There's no way in hell I can get a pass from the university.
I don't believe that Nick
Because I got to
normally
come
has a
back to
pass.
do overreaction. That's the problem. I got to do overreaction that afternoon with
Does
half.
Nick normally have a pass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he does? Okay. I thought Nick
Yes,
just
I
found a
can
place to
ride
park.
with Nick.
Because we get there so early, I
Ride
thought
with
maybe
Nick
he just
down
found a
the
place to park.
Not enough room. There's not enough room with Nick. We'll figure it out. I'm looking
Well,
forward to it, Michael. We'll have a blast.
we could ride together, but of course you'd be stuck there. Yeah, so that wouldn't be good.
Gotta come home.
Yeah.
Gotta come home.
Yeah. So we
Catherine and
got I got to
to.
cheer for Creighton to beat Iowa State. Is that what needs to happen?
You got it. Yeah. Roll J says Michael
Could you
Severe.
just go on like Reddit and just ask for someone to give you a ride back to Omaha from Lincoln at like a certain time on Friday?
Probably cost some money.
Just just offer to pay some gas money or something that's cheaper than the parking will be.
I guess that's
Also,
true.
it's probably for the best that you don't show up there with anybody, because the second you walk into that property, you're just going to start seeing red dots appear on you.
Is this what's going to happen with me? Red dots?
Yeah.
Like a sniper?
Or
Are you
two.
implying a sniper rifle will be set upon me?
Red dot
Are we
could be a
talking
lot.
political right now? Red dots?
Yeah, what's going on? Assassination?
What are you talking about?
You
What is
made
happening?
them really upset, Josh.
All right,
well,
so Michael,
you-
we'll
You're
figure it
getting
out.
weird in the studio,
We'll
Michael.
figure it out, Michael. I'm looking forward to it, though. Maybe.
So we
looking
need to.
forward
So we need to find you a parking pass.
You need to find me a parking pass. That's the
I
most
will. Let me
important-
make a couple phone calls.
All right. Hopefully, you
We'll
get
see.
the right person on the phone.
We'll
All
see
right.
if you need to have that. But so
Yeah.
if they win tomorrow, when do they play?
Sometime on Wednesday. No idea what time. This is the
So they play on
dumb-
Wednesday, but they don't ever play on Thursday if they win tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay,
Because they
All
wouldn't
right,
be
so we have
bad
something
enough.
to-
Yeah.
We have something to cheer for.
Yep. Go Jays
Un-
tomorrow is what everybody is.
Unlike Mike Schaefer, who is just although he does Max Brosmer, baby. I am so excited about
He is
Max.
too. He is
Look,
too.
I would rather see it.
One
At
of the
this
greatest Division One AA players ever. Let's go,
Yeah.
baby.
I saw him
Let's
in
see if
person
he can
last
be
year.
the Brock Purdy of the Kevin O'Connell system. That's what we
Well, see,
need to
that's
see.
it's. Do you remember how good Brock Purdy was at Iowa State? Like the
He was
man was
pretty
called Brocktober. because he won so many big games in October. So let's not downgrade Purdy because people were bad judges in the draft. That's why. I don't think that he's as good as Brock Purdy, but I'm going Max Brosmer as Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go bet that in Iowa right now. See if I can get.
Wow. So if he just needs to, what? How many games are left for him
6,
to win Rookie of the Year?
games?
What would his numbers need to be?
Is it 6 games left?
I think it's. So
6.
they just finished week 12.
Yeah, 6 games left.
It's 6 games, right? 6 games. If he
You know
throws
who
for
they have
300 a
on
game,
You know
Huh?
who's going to be standing across that field? It's going to be
Who?
Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold's going to throw for 5 touchdowns on that defense.
Oh no!
And they are just going to have a day because no one will cover JSN. JSN might set the NFL receiving record just because the Seahawks go for it.
Yeah,
there may be some fumbles from Sam Darnold too. I mean,
that's true. I will say this. I am fascinated. Flores will probably have a defense designed to get at least.
Yeah, he's
one
seen him in
interception.
practice. He knows what's
he
going
doesn't
on there.
necessarily handle pressure very well at times.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah,
But
so
I would, whatever the player prop is for JSN, I would look at and probably, if it's not high enough, it's probably going over on Sunday.
You got a touchdown tonight? Somebody scoring?
Ooh,
I have Jennings.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, but he's not not very good plus money, is he? He's like pretty.
No, I just
give
was
me
giving you a
give me
player.
Tet. Give me Tet.
Oh,
I took Tet for over receptions.
Okay.
What's the number? 4.5.
4.5. I have McCaffrey over 5.5. I have Xavier Legette for a touchdown.
Okay.
Jawan Jennings for a touchdown.
Wow. Sneaky
That's what
fun
we have.
game. Not even sneaky. It's a fun game. Wild
No,
card.
I agree. I got Tez Johnson yesterday. Got him a nice touchdown. That was sweet.
I don't
Very
know who I'm
excited
rooting
about
for tonight. Whatever helps. I guess Panthers losing probably better, but I think they might win the division now. You know,
Well,
because the Bucs are falling
Mayfield
apart.
may not be out. So
Are you
saw
sure?
that. Yeah, that's what Todd Bowles said today, right?
No,
Like,
that shoulder's done, right? I've seen that before. That's
Dude, that looks-
exploded shoulder, right?
he hurt it while throwing. Like I know it was already hurt, but then he hurt it again while throwing.
Yeah, and you know what he does for a living?
He throws. Oh,
He throws.
He throws. That's his job.
He throws for a living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he will. I don't know.
All right.
I don't care.
Michael
Saints
Spear
aren't going to win the
Monday.
division.
What a great,
Thank you,
what a great
guys.
conversation. Michael, this was awesome. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and maybe I'll see you on Friday.
Okay, I hope not for your sake, but I am going to make some calls about trying to get a parking pass.
Thank you very much.
You're
All
welcome,
right.
sir. See you guys.
Awesome. That is Michael Severe joining us as he does each and every Monday at this time. All right. We haven't talked any NFL except for your 10 minutes of JJ McCarthy rant.
Yeah, and we
earlier.
didn't even have to spend that much time on it.
I got a JSN stat for you when we return.
He's pretty good.
If anybody wants to talk to me about the Cowboys beating the Eagles yesterday,
Sounds like a grim thing.
very happy to do so. A grim as in it'd be grim if we talked about it, or a grim.
Grim as in grim.
Nick Grimm. That's
me.
his last name.
Hello.
It's just-
The guy who thinks your safety is in question if you go to Lincoln, apparently.
yeah, I'm gonna be fine, Nick. They just won't let me into the stadium. Where we will be is not even Nebraska property. Right? Under the interstate. That's not their property.
I know, generally not.
Yeah, it's the city's property.
I think
Assumed you were
I think
banned
either
from-
way you'll be fine.
Yeah, they allow me in Lincoln. Just the stadium.
Okay.
That I don't think I'm allowed in.
They're just not inviting him on the podcast.
They're not. No, and they never will. And they
You don't
never
know
will.
that. That could be a very interesting podcast.
I guess Ari
What
Wasserman,
if sometime down the line
he called again?
you and Matt Rule have a conversation about that night in question
Wow, that would be
on
wild.
a podcast?
That would be. I mean, he did.
That would be fascinating.
Ari Wasserman said something that Rule disagreed with, and then Ari and Andy Staples went on his podcast.
There you go.
All right, maybe it could happen. All right, you know what can happen though, Shafe, with your phone right now? Josh Peterson here for Underdog Fantasy, a great website and a great app. Football season is in full swing, and however you like to get on the action, you can do it on Underdog right now in Nebraska. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Plus, with Underdog's ultra-fast payouts, you can get your profits in a snap. So, download the app today. Use promo code 1620TheZone to score $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all on Underdog. Crypto.com predictions powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involves risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit nadex.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules for Crypto.com predictions. The term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Josh Peterson, Mike Schaefer, as we are sadly already nearing the end of the show. Nick, what did you set the over-under on topics? Like 2?
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much right there. Had a great conversation with Michael Severe. Check out the podcast if you missed it. I said, if you want to talk about the Cowboys beating the Eagles, I'm happy to do so. That's what Terry wants to do right now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Terry, hello. Thanks for joining us.
What about them Cowboys?
What up, Terry?
Come on. What about those Cowboys? You know what, man? I am such a Cowboys fan, and I know it's been a struggle, man, but I named my son Dallas, and my daughter's middle name is Star. I am devoted to the Cowboys, but, you know, another thing I want to add is this, and I like the Chiefs too, but I'm more of a Cowboy fan. I think the Chiefs are going down on Thursday, man.
Oh, Terry. That would be a happy Thanksgiving.
Man, I think Cowboys just have too much offense.
And now they got Quinnen Williams, and they can actually stop a running game. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, well, you know, it's good to see them at least have some resemblance of life support, you know. But, you know, they're really turning it on, beat the Eagles. I think the Eagles are trying to find themselves and struggling again like they did last year. But hey, I'll take the win, man. I will take that win yesterday.
Hell yeah. Thanks for the call, Terry. Appreciate it. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. Go Cowboys against the Chiefs. Let's go, Schaefer. What?
George Pickens.
Let's go, man.
Javonte Williams.
I love George Pickens.
Not your father's Cowboys.
No, well,
not even your older brother's Cowboys.
What is this? Wait, what is
not
that?
even. No, I'm just naming random players that they picked up that are playing really well for
Okay, yeah. Why is that not my father's thing? My father's Cowboys won Super Bowls.
That's why they're
not
not
your older
father's
brother's Cowboys. Not your younger brother's Cowboys.
That's
Not
definitely
last
not it.
year's Cowboys.
Probably not your grandpa's Cowboys.
No, none of those Cowboys.
It's a
Those
new
Cowboys
era.
God, I hope so. How fun would that be if this was a new era? If
It's-
they won,
It's somewhat
if
fun
they
for
won
me
the Super Bowl.
because your just schizophrenic nature of this season has been incredible.
Yeah,
Like
it's been
you went
tough.
in with absolutely
Zero
no
expectations.
joy,
None.
no joy in your heart and hate in your eyes.
Yo.
And then you got
Oh,
real excited about your offense. Then you got kind of sad and emo-y again.
Yeah.
And then you got real emo-y on Sunday.
I was.
And then
I was emo yesterday.
George Pickens had an incredible catch. Beast! And you like flipped around a little bit. You're like, hey, I kind of like this football thing again. I'm not going to be a sad sack.
I do like football right now.
I'm gonna enjoy my favorite sport.
There was one of our listeners, Sam. He was like, "Hey, what's the worst that Nebraska and Dallas have ever lost on the same weekend combined?" And I said, "I don't know." This was in the midst of them being down 21-0, and he went and found the answer. In 2004, famously, Nebraska lost 70-10. I don't even remember what the Cowboys game was. I liked them in 04. If there was an axis, you know, and the Huskers were here, like the Cowboys were, and then at a certain point, they went way past them. So I liked it. The Cowboys were also 04. They would have been in the midst of the Dave. No. That would have been Bill Parcells. Year 2 of Bill Parcells. Don't really remember 04. Drew Bledsoe was probably the quarterback, or Vinny Testaverde, late stage
Man, I
Vinny
don't
Testaverde.
remember the Drew Bledsoe Cowboys era.
It wasn't a whole lot of fun. That was a rough stretch. Quincy Carter, Drew Bledsoe, Chad Hutchinson. Yuck. Ryan Leaf started a Thanksgiving game, if I remember right. Bad.
Chad Hutchinson,
Bad.
just
Baseball
like an
player.
all-time bad quarterback.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
JJ McCarthy in that category statistically.
This isn't
in
about
some
you.
ways.
This is about my team right
Yeah.
now, Shafe. We've already done
You
your
mentioned
team.
Chad Hutchinson. You opened the door.
I really did. I told you I had a JSN stat for you. So,
Pretty
through 11 games, 80 receptions, 1,313 yards, 7 touchdowns. In 2012, Calvin Johnson, the famed Calvin Johnson year, through the same number of games, 73 receptions, so 7 fewer, 1,257 yards, so 56 fewer, and 4 touchdowns, so 3 fewer. You ready for this? That was from BetMGM. I saw this stat from Ben Baldwin. Team pass attempts, the Lions through the first 11 games in 2012, 501. The Seahawks in 2025, 302.
It's not.
Whoa!
So here's what they need to do, though. Go inside that number, and the JSN target share is incredible.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know that there was anyone that was within 4 times the amount of catches he had on Sunday on the Seahawks roster. Like, I think he had 8, and I don't know if anybody had 2.
Is target share an easily findable stat?
I don't know.
See, this is where I wish that I
it's
had
somewhere
some of the
on the
fancy
internet
stats
that you can find.
Yeah, it's probably on it's probably like a next gen, and I don't have access to that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, wait, here we go. Target share. Okay. 37.4%. I believe this is on the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
He is that's number 1 in the league. His targets are 3rd in the NFL. That's incredible.
So then, like, how close is the next closest percentage for him?
It does this. I'm just looking at his.
Just his page.
Yeah,
so it's bolded. So that way you know it's number 1.
Yeah, I'd have to go find another page. If somebody has that information, please send it my way. Yeah, what he is doing is ridiculous.
So what was Calvin Johnson's target share in 2012?
Well, gosh, I mean, just judging off of those stats, I can't imagine it was anywhere near what he is doing. This is nuts. This is incredible. What and it's so funny because he got hurt his last year at Ohio State. And so then the next guy stepped up, and the next guy at that time was Marvin Harrison Jr. and he was really good. And so it was like, oh, JSN, he was pretty good. He had that awesome Rose Bowl. And then he goes to the NFL and now he does this. And, it's a reminder that.
Well, and it's also a reminder that he's a 3rd-year wide receiver because he played with Lockett and Metcalf. They're no longer there. And so now he is just he was a stud last year for anybody that was actually paying attention.
Yeah.
But now it's just obvious that he is an incredible player.
Let's pour one out for our Bucks, who, as we talked about with Michael Severe, I like how I say our. This is your Bucks. Now
you went off the wagon.
Well,
you finally climbed on the wagon, and then it veered straight into the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, I asked a question of Michael, and I'll ask.
So you're the cooler. You're the mush here.
Rats. Are the Panthers going to win the?
No, I don't think they will.
Okay.
I think it'll still be the Bucks.
Okay.
Though I have to say, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. Maybe there's a reason why he was going to be a high school coach until he got banned or whatever it was.
There was a 4th and 1 yesterday where they ran like a play action or just a straight drop back. And I don't know. I think it was Jared Verse, but he was just on Bridgewater, and Bridgewater had no chance of getting anywhere. And it was bad.
By the way,
it was bad.
You might be right. Here you go. You ready for this? So they still haven't had their idle week. That doesn't come for 2 more. That's week 14. They got the Niners tonight, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They got the Rams. Now, that's a home game, and weirder things have happened.
0-2.
Off week at New Orleans, who don't forget they lost by 10 points to 15 days ago.
1-2. We'll say they get the win there.
Bucks at home.
So we'll just say 2-2 to play out the exercise.
Seahawks at home, and then Bucks on the road.
So they have to sweep the Bucks, and they have to go 3-3, and then hope that Tampa doesn't somehow win games. And obviously, if you beat Tampa twice, they'll win the division.
Very much
I think the Bucks are going to win this division.
Wow, that's pretty crazy because their schedule moving forward,
it lightens up a ton.
Yeah, they got the Cards, Saints, Falcons, and then Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. Wow, they can definitely get through this a little bit. Maybe Baker comes back for the playoffs. They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender anymore like you thought that they were.
They're not going to be. And neither of the teams I picked to go to the Super Bowl had a good week. So,
you had the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Yikes, dude. That's it. Texas defense is really good. So I don't want to jump off the bandwagon just yet. How are we feeling about our Ravens?
They're a weird team. I sent you that text early on Sunday. They were down like 7-3
against,
and it was just like, what is happening? And then they just sort of flipped a switch and played well, but they didn't look that good. They haven't really looked good, and yet they're going to win the AFC North without an issue. There's going to be an odd out in the AFC playoffs.
Yeah.
The AFC is a car crash. I mean, you don't feel great about the Chiefs. You don't feel great about the Ravens. You don't feel great about the Bills. The Patriots had kind of an ugly game on Sunday.
So you basically have to ask yourself, am I really going to go with one of the unproven Patriots, Broncos, Colts
I keep
teams
coming
to
back to it. It's the Broncos.
Yep.
At some point, you will join me on that bandwagon.
I will never.
And be like, yeah, I guess they might be the best team in the AFC.
Defense travels. Hey, at least the Steelers are out of the picture now again, which is the,
What a weekend.
Remember when they traded George Pickens for a 3rd and a 5th? Wow, and he already has over 1,000 yards. Yikes.
He wouldn't in Pittsburgh. I know that.
No, and also, a tough look for Mike Tomlin, veteran head coach, that he wasn't able to wrangle Pickens in. But now here comes Brian Schottenheimer in year 1, getting the maximizing George Pickens.
Do you think that he couldn't wrangle in Pickens, or do you think it was Pickens knew that he was playing in a Mickey Mouse offense that couldn't throw a football?
I would also blame Tomlin for that.
Yeah, I mean,
hire a real coordinator
that for sure.
At some point, the Tomlin thing.
I don't understand how Arthur Smith gets jobs.
Yeah, well,
he looks like a moron.
Mustache.
He coaches like a moron.
Maybe they like the mustache.
He gets results of a moron.
So maybe he's a moron.
Yeah.
Travis says, all aboard the Broncos train. Let's go. Choo choo. You're right. You're driving it. It's you and Stibbs and Travis.
They're the best team until I see otherwise.
You and Stibbs talking about hats? Wow.
Yeah, could be talking about hats.
Broncos Super Bowl hats? Wow, what a world. What year is it? 1998?
Nice.
97.
Well, they
Sorry, I
won
mean to
in
bring
2015.
20. Yeah, I think of the 90s, though. I'm a kid
Yeah,
of the 90s.
Because look at how you're dressed. Of course you think about the 90s.
Folks, can I tell you about the Dallas Cowboys?
You got your Bulls starter jacket over there?
No, I'm a Laker guy. You know this.
No, that's right. That's the 2000s
Go
you.
Lakers!
90s you? 90s you is all Cowboys. 2000 you is all Lakers.
I was all...
What's the 2010s version of you?
Warriors.
Interesting how he seems to gravitate towards all the really good teams.
No, I didn't want to be a Bulls fan because all my friends were.
No.
Bandwagon.
So 2010's version of you, the team that you would say reflects you of that decade would be the Warriors?
Oh, I thought it was just supposed to be another basketball
No. Well,
team.
the Cowboys reflects you of the 90s.
Oh, sure. Lakers 2000.
Lakers 2000.
Oregon Ducks. Go Ducks.
Incredibly pathetic.
I picked them to lose on Saturday, and I was wrong on that. Part of my 1-5 weekend.
Wow.
Pick them. Yeah, I thought the Trojans were going to get it.
You went
done.
against the Ducks?
Yeah, I did.
Incredible.
Yep. Sad. Very sad.
No, they showed you.
Let's see. We got a few minutes left. Lane Kiffin, your thoughts?
I'm fascinated as to what he does. There's a part of me that wonders, like, how he's just is he the guy just because he seems like he's the most available?
I mean, he is definitely the best candidate of this cycle. There is then a question when you step back and say, yeah, but what does that actually mean? It's like it's like being the first overall draft pick in a draft where everyone sucks, you know, like, congrats, you got that quarterback.
Like,
you know?
we literally just saw James Franklin get fired.
Yeah.
And what about Lane Kiffin tells you he's going to be better than James Franklin at any point?
So here'd be my argument. Ole Miss, for our entire lives and the lives of our fathers before us, was never this. They are a win in the Egg Bowl away from making it to the playoff. I think if you could guarantee he'll be back he will coach in the playoff, I think they are a loss away still from playing in the playoff. I think that he is doing something at that school that they couldn't do with Eli Manning or even sniff it. They never even won the division in the old SEC West, right? So I think that is something to be applauded for. Now, I also will hear the argument of they have melted down at the end of regular seasons before, and they very well could lose the Egg Bowl this weekend. Like, that wouldn't be a shocker.
Right.
You know, and aren't they off on opposite Nebraska and Iowa, which sucks?
Yeah, I was hoping it was a Thursday night
it used to be a Thanksgiving game. So, like, they could very much lose this.
And then
but
the NFL, I think, ruined it for them.
Now, I think Ole Miss is a better program than Vanderbilt historically. I don't think that it's like that much better of a program historically, though, and he has had way more success than James Franklin did at Vanderbilt. So that would be my argument that I would present and say. Well,
I would argue
also, James Franklin,
that James Franklin taking over Vanderbilt was at a much, much lower
100%,
point
100%
than anywhere Lane Kiffin touched of Ole Miss.
I would absolutely agree with you there. Absolutely agree with you.
I mean, there's that.
I would also say James Franklin had a pretty good run. Like, would a school be okay with signing up for that, for LSU or Florida? Probably not, but the 12-team playoff does change the math a little bit because in a 12-team era, James Franklin is making the playoff like every year.
But Penn State just fired him.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, if you get the last 10 years and they get the playoff, there might be a year where look, you and I, that 2017 with Saquon and McSorley, like, they could have broken through.
Should have.
Absolutely should have.
So
maybe they do in
here's
16.
the reason for me with Lane Kiffin. I don't want him to go to Florida or to LSU and become a more buttoned up version.
I don't think he would be.
I don't know if he would or wouldn't.
I think he's a freak. He's a freak show wherever he goes, man. I think, especially if he goes to Florida, he'd just be Steve Spurrier incarnate,
What is that?
He talks so much mess. He's a messy guy.
I hope.
Look, he's about to do the decision for his next job. Like, that's a messy individual.
I want him to stay at Ole Miss. That's my preference. My preference is Ole Miss, then LSU, then Florida. Well, in that order.
I think I'd go Florida, then LSU.
Why?
I think he just fits there better. It seems more fun. It seems more like Florida.
What is fun about that?
About Lane?
Yeah,
Florida. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he runs a high-flying offense, and when I think of, as a child of the 90s, I think of Florida, I think of high-flying offense.
See, the problem I have is that I don't think of Florida as fun, and they haven't been fun in a long time.
It has been like 15 years.
Like, nothing they have done has been fun. LSU has been fun.
They have been very fun. Joe Burrow was fun.
I just sort of feel like LSU would be the sort of place that he would actually go and then have, the chance to win the national title. Florida feels like the place he goes to go beat James Franklin Part 2.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm with you, by the way. I think staying at Ole Miss is way more interesting for the sport of college football.
Yes, I agree.
And
that's
also
very much what I would rather see.
And we're up against it. Two things on the Penn State stuff. So first of all, the Terry Smith wearing the 409 is like ridiculous. And I'm surprised that more people aren't calling him out for it. Like, They you see that on Saturday.
Mhm.
So he was wearing 409 gear, which is, I noticed that. I was watching the game with Jack Mitchell. He's like, what is that? I'm like, that's the number of wins that Joe Paterno had. And so, I mean, he's obviously making I'd say a politically charged statement about, how that situation ended when he was the head coach because of Jerry Sandusky. And so, like, I think it'd be pretty stupid to hire that guy anyway. I think leaning into interims is always a dumb idea. That said, if it ends up being like Eli Drinkwitz or something, like, holy crap, what a massive step back for this program. Because that guy, I think, sucks. I mean, he doesn't suck, but he is not take Penn State to Ohio State level.
Yeah,
nowhere near that. I hope they go. I kind of think that there's still a chance that they're going to get DeBoer. I know nobody agrees with me on this, but I still think that there's a possibility.
I am, even more than the Penn State job still being open. Obviously, we're not at the end of the year. I still have no idea how James Franklin ended up at Virginia Tech. No one can explain this to me.
Well, he wasn't going to go to Maryland because they didn't, like, he was head coach in waiting, and then they didn't pick him, and so he doesn't like Maryland. But I can't believe he didn't hold out for a better job.
Well, I mean, his name was linked to Florida, to Florida State, to all of these other places.
Yeah.
Like, there was a thought at one point in time that Florida State was just looking for an assurance from James Franklin, and then they would move off of Mike Norvell.
Wow.
And he chose Virginia Tech over that. I understand why you would pick the ACC as your bounce back job right now, because if he could spend 2 years there and build them up to a high degree, he will be back at a job like Penn State very quickly.
Yeah.
So it's strategically that makes sense to me, but man, like, I just don't. I never would have guessed that Virginia Tech would end up with what I think is one of the better coaches in college football. They don't have NIL money. It's just a mess, like
Incredible.
a total mess.
Incredible. All right. Speaking of incredible, will we be eating incredible tonight? When we return, it's time for What's for Dinner. You like that?
Will we be eating? Who knows?
Find out next.
Who can say?
On 1620 The Zone.
When you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Crust is good on your pizza, not your ass.
I will eat your ass first.
He's tough as a Woolworth steak.
And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap.
I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, and skin them, and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors.
And we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you.
Cliff, what are you going to take away as your best memory from playing basketball at Boston College?
Probably just like going out to eat.
Hey, reminder, giving is open for Giving Tuesday 402 at shareomaha.org. You're invited to join in and donate to local nonprofits to help shape the community you want to live in. Give now at shareomaha.org. All right, let's finish up the Grum. What's for dinner, boys? Tonight, we are having chicken and wild rice soup.
Yum.
Indeed, a nice cozy meal for a cozy, almost winter night in Omaha, Nebraska. Shafe?
We had Thanksgiving on Sunday with my side of the family, so eating leftover turkeys.
Oh, okay.
Leftover turkey? Multiple turkeys?
Yeah, there's all the turkeys.
Oh,
wow.
Just bringing them all in, killing them all, then eating them.
Nick?
Pizza from somewhere.
Pizza from somewhere.
Don't know where yet.
All right, perfect. Shafe, you're back tomorrow.
Back.
We'll talk about Nebraska football. Let's do some Iowa tomorrow.
Iowa.
Go Hawks.
Well, there you go. And other stuff, too. Maybe the chair company. Probably not the chair
I haven't
company.
watched it.
All right. For Shafe, for Nick, I'm Josh. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Cowboys beat the Eagles.